Not sure what to do, what should be my next step.
Even sometimes if you feel like you're following it along.
And I know Newstel will be in great hands well after I've retired.
Hello everyone. Happy International Women's Day. How is everyone doing? Hopefully all good. It's nighttime actually here, but I think the sun is shining on your end, so I'm very happy for that. I'm Liv. I'm going to be our moderator today, so if I could ask everyone to introduce themselves, and I'll go first. I'm Liv. I'm the marketing assistant, and I've been working in Newstel for officially 7 months now. Thank you.
I'm Louise. I'm head of marketing at Newstel, and I've been working with Newstel now for 1.5 years, going on to 2 years this year.
I'm Sophie. I'm Chief Customer Officer at Newstel. I've been with Newstel for about 2.5 years, and I'm based in Cornwall in the UK.
I'm Hilke. I'm Head of International Account Management at Newstel, and I've been with the company for over 9 years now.
Hello everyone, I'm Kirsten, Continuous Improvement Manager at Newstel, and I have been with Newstel for 3.5 years now.
So I'm Debbie. I'm the Account and Compliance Manager, obviously at Newstel, and I've been here for just over 2.5 years.
1960. So the world elected its first female prime minister, but women have been leading empires since 1500 BC. Now, in 2026, the table where decisions happen is now digital. So we have 5 women here, connected from different corners of the world, ready to bridge the past with the present. We aren't just discussing our own history, but we will also talk about the future. Since we aren't doing a standard corporate panel, what we're going to do is not your typical I ask and then you answer format. We're going to let each other decide who will speak. What we'll be playing is the power of 2. This is how it works. Before we get into our first poll, I want to leave a quote first. Leadership is a team sport, so prepare to be nominated. For our first poll, who is most likely to have been the boss since they were 5 years old? Our winner is Sophie. Please choose a question, and then you have to answer it.
Was leadership a choice or an evolution? That is the one I would pick. I suppose when I was at work, I always had ambition. And perhaps I was quite an ambitious child as well in my directions. But with leadership, I suppose it was a series of lucky chances. My manager went on maternity leave. I had the chance to step into her role for a bit, and I found that I really enjoyed it. So I suppose for me, it was a combination of naivety. I didn't know what I was letting myself in for, and a desire to make a difference, because I really did feel passionate about my specialist subject, I suppose, which was customers and customer service. And that really helped me push forward. It was, I suppose, there was an element of choice, but it was definitely evolutionary.
Thank you, Sophie. Now, Hilke, would you like to answer the same question, or would you like to choose another one?
I think I would like to choose another one. I think I would like to go for what surprised you most about your first leadership role. For me, I think it's realizing that it's more about the people. Of course, numbers matter as well, but I feel like it's really important to dig into motivation and frustrations to really lead the team and look at what drives the team and what is making them performing them at their best.
Thank you so much, the both of you. Since Sophie and Hilke answered, they will be in the shade, but they can still vote. For our next poll, who is most likely to stay perfectly calm when their Zoom call has a failing Wi-Fi connection?
I think the question I would like to answer would be, how do you lead people first when the team is thousands of miles away? My team consists of you, Liv, so I don't really have a very big team. However, obviously we are on different time zones, the other side of the world, but we still manage to make us work and make the team work and do whatever we need to do for marketing for Newstel. I think it's very important, however, first of all, that we check in. I make it a point that we check in once a day, not being physically near each other. Some body language cues may be missed. There are no water cooler talks, so it's much more important to dedicate the space to check in. and also to be as clear as possible. So I don't really leave room for assumptions. I try to communicate very clearly what I need, what the company needs, what we need to be working on. I also like to check in to see my team's workload, so you live, so just to make sure that you are not getting too much on your plate and you're burnt out. These are things that I think when you are in an office, sometimes you can kind of find out and see much more easily than you can when you're remote. Sometimes you don't even meet for the whole day. I think it's very important, and also I think this is something that helps me a lot, so I try to inject it in the team as well. So I work very well with positive reinforcement and celebrating even small wins, so I try to include that in the team as well. That's the way that I try to lead people first.
I would like to attest to that all of that she said is true. With the culture thing, to be celebrating little wins, it's difficult for me on my end because I wasn't really based that much on like achievements and then celebrating, congratulating, words of affirmation that, oh, you did well. That really doesn't sit well with me at the beginning, but since working here, I have to like slowly accept it in a way because it's true, and it's true to her because she is proud. Thank you, Louise. And then we have Kristen. Would you like to answer the same question?
I would like actually to answer, how do you adapt your style for different teams and functions? Because I think that's also really, really important, especially with us working, with different levels, let's say, or different people from different cultural backgrounds. They all had different ways of learning, but also, of course, they may have worked in different environments, positions, and so on before. So I think that is really important to know who you are talking to so that you can really adapt what you need to communicate, how you maybe need to communicate with this person or with a team, and then of course hopefully also making sure that you get across the message that you want to deliver and not just stay put and just mention what you might want to say, but then hopefully as well making sure that you can action on anything that you have discussed. Can be sometimes maybe a little bit more of a discovery and coaching related when you're maybe talking to somebody that is a direct report to you and you might need to deliver some feedback, but of course then there's probably also situations where you have to present some information, make sure that everybody can find alignment, that everybody's really well informed and updated on changes, for example, and therefore also making sure that you can reach everybody with those details needed and that everybody knows, okay, what do I need to do now and how can I do this? It is always really important that you don't just go with one approach, but that you really try to understand, okay, what do I want to get across and who am I talking to, so that you can really make the right choices there. And then, hopefully that leads also to success and everybody knows what to do.
Thank you, Kristen. And that takes me back to alignment, because before I even started working here, when we did our onboarding process, I asked a question in HR, like, how do I address, for example, Sophie? I used to type, how do I address Miss Sophie? How do I address Miss Louise? Because I didn't really know. I felt weird calling them by their first names, and they assured me enough that it's okay. Same level for human, just different parts of the group. So thank you, Kristen. Kristen and Louise will be in the shade, but Sophie and Hilka will be back for our next poll, maybe our last. Who is most likely to have a poker face during a high-pressure client crisis or a conference call? It is unanimous that Debbie will be the first one to answer.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think I would answer, how do you handle self-doubt or high-pressure moments? And I think very much from that question, sometimes you can have that feeling when you're in those calls, in that spotlight, and the pressure can sometimes be there, and it's very much important to remain calm. But for me, I think it's all about that organization and that preparation. This allows you to be ready for when those high pressure moments hit. And I think very much working in this type of environment, you never know when those moments are going to strike. So it is always making sure that you've really planned your day seamlessly, so you know that you're ready. So for me, I very much have, like a to-do list, and I can prioritize my tasks through that, so I can make sure that the really important things are never being missed, even if unexpected things are coming up in those moments. I think we all have it, that self-doubt definitely creeps in from time to time. Am I doing my best? Am I really delivering what needs to be delivered? And I guess it's about taking those moments to really take in a breath, or at least that's what works for me, and reminding myself, there's a reason that I'm in this role, and the team around me believe in what I'm able to achieve, and that's what motivates me to just keep going and keep pushing through those sort of challenging times, knowing that obviously at the end there will be that light and things will definitely be recognized. That's it from me.
Thank you, Debbie. Sophie, would you like to answer the same question, or?
I might choose a combination of question 1 and question 3 if I can, Liv.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, yeah, unlearning stuff as a woman. So I think as a woman, perhaps there is an expectation of how we behave or how we moderate ourselves. And one of the things that I had to unlearn is that it's not okay to speak out. You know, as a woman, perhaps you're told, you know, keep quiet, don't speak out, don't make a fuss. And I had to unlearn that. And that was the hardest thing to do. So too many times I think I didn't really have the confidence to say something when I saw it. And I learned that I did see things and I needed to speak up. And there was a particular project that I was involved in that really taught me about speaking up and the importance of speaking up. And if I hadn't spoken up in that particular project, it would have fallen flat on its face. So I was pleased that I did, but it took a lot of courage to actually speak up. That's led into me becoming a better leader, perhaps. I made some big mistakes. So I remember my previous CEO at a clothing company, he was a really nice chap. And I wanted to take him through a presentation about customer service and the value it drives. And we're talking 10 or 12 years ago. So this was prior to people really recognising customer service as a, you know, not just as a cost centre perhaps, but that it can drive value with customer retention. And I was trying to get that story across, but I wasn't doing it very well. So I gave this poor chap about 40 slides to go through, and I took him through every single one. He was so polite, you know, he listened to me, but I realised that actually I didn't give him any definitive actions off the back of that. So what I learned from that was to use data to really tell the story and to perhaps speak in the language that they understood. So not speaking customer service language, but talk about the financials, the customer loyalty, the customer retention, those sorts of things that customer service can help deliver, because that was my specialist subject. I suppose having poor Paul sit there through 40 slides and not complain and then walk out and think, well, what am I expecting him to do with that, really taught me how I should present myself as a leader. So I hope that answers both of those questions. And I loved hearing Debbie's answer as well, because, you know, we're here for a reason, right? You know, we've got to where we are and we have to have confidence that we are good enough.
Thank you, Sophie. I did hear a quote about something similar, that never question why you're in the room, because you're in the room for a reason. So welcome to the shade, of course, Sophie and Debbie. The final cycle is about advice and the future. Everyone is open to answer any question that's in this slide. I think we'll start with Louise with this time.
I think I will answer the first question, which also kind of joins with what Sophie has been saying. So what advice would you give a woman who's just starting their career? The same kind of things that we have had to unlearn from society. Hopefully nowadays, women growing in these times, hopefully don't have to go through as much as maybe those growing up in our times did. But yes, the not speaking up, being afraid to voice your concerns and being afraid to ask, maybe because you feel like you're nagging. Those are all things that should be thrown out the window. It's so important that you ask. Asking questions helps you obviously become better at what you do, especially in a remote setting. Cannot really work without being certain about what is needed. So I make it a point to ask as much as I need. So that would be my main advice to give to anyone who's starting their career, be it woman or man. And I also think it's very important to speak up. It's a very hard thing to find your voice. I think it comes with experience as well and with confidence, knowing that you are knowledgeable on what you're doing, trying to inform yourself as much as you can, asking questions when you're not certain, and speaking out when you think something is not sitting right with you, even if it's something that can be cleared out. I think it's very, very important to find your voice and keep your voice in your career too.
Thank you, Louise. Hilka, would you like to choose a question?
I would like to go for what excites you most about the future of leadership at Newstel. I think it's quite exciting to be with you guys here, because we are still shaping Newstel the way we have those conversations, and it's really important that we speak about it, because I think there will be new opportunities, new projects with us leading and having those conversations. We are shaping the team, we are making sure it's not only about performance, it's also about people, you know, just having both sides, human side and the leadership side. So yeah, really excited about that.
Thank you, Hilka. And for Kristen, would you like to answer number 2? or the same question?
Maybe a little bit of a combination as well. But I think in terms of anyone building their future, it is always, I think, important. Never just take something for granted. Life is always a learning curve. If you have been working at a different company before, if you have worked in different job titles, structures, hierarchies, whatever you want to call it, learning never stops. And sometimes you maybe also have to really unlearn things or you have to find new ways and you have to adapt. And I think for me personally, a really, really big thing in the past few years has been you might be presented with certain facts, or you maybe have to deal with a very emotional situation as well. And there might be processes that you can follow, or there is maybe also, somebody that you can talk to and just bounce off an idea or your thoughts in order to come to a decision, especially when it's around managing people and leading people. But I think the most important thing is always trust your gut. I maybe had to relearn a little bit as well because sometimes you also feel that you can trust and that is kind of like taken for granted, but then because the situation is changing, you might need to adapt. So I think that is a really, really important thing. I think that is also very strongly related to anybody who's starting their career or maybe who is doing a change in their career. If you start somewhere, that doesn't mean that you have to follow that path. You might also change. I have done that quite a few times. Being able to dive a little bit deeper at times. And I think that is also really what excites me personally about the future of leadership at Newstel. We always try to be adaptive, flexible, agile. Again, learning never stops. You know that you're not alone in something and that you hopefully can find the right way to move on with something.
Thank you so much, Christy. For closing, I would like to leave this quote: "A candle loses nothing by lighting another." Are there any other final sparks of wisdom? I would like to start. If there's one thing that I have to learn, I have to remind myself, is that to rest. Resting is like for the body, for the mental state, and even for work. I mean, Louise tells me sometimes, like, if you don't have an idea in a creative way, a breather, stand up, stretch your body, and it really helps me. Anyone else?
Yes, I have one more to share. I think what I've learned the past few months is that you don't have to know everything, even though you are in a leadership role. I think it's really important that you look for help from others, or also get other opinions on certain things, because that also helps yourself grow. If you are in a leadership position, it doesn't mean you have to know everything.
I'd love to share that. I think we have such a great team at Newstel, and everybody, you've all talked about that team so well, and it really excites me. And I think we have a great balance of both gender and skills, but I think what's most important for me is that we all share the same values, and I think that's what makes us work so well together. We're hugely respectful to each other, but we're still prepared to challenge when we need to. And I know Newstel will be in great hands well after I've retired, and you guys are the future, so I'm so excited about that.
This is maybe applicable most to women, but I think it's applicable to any gender. I think sometimes I'm saying apply more to women because we are mostly told to kind of shrink ourselves sometimes, especially in the business world. Now things are changing to make maybe others feel comfortable. One thing that I learned and across my leadership journey has been this: that ambition is not something to be ashamed of, even if it makes people uncomfortable. It could be people around you. I'm speaking from my experience. There have been some personal family, for example, which have been, you should be scared of taking on a leadership role just because they're speaking from their own experience. So I think just when as Kirsten said as well, you feel it in your gut, your spark, it's important to keep on following it. Even sometimes if you feel like you're following it along, you will find the people along the way who will support you. And I think regarding the future, us being a people first company, one of the most important skills that we need to have as leaders is emotional intelligence. I think we are doing very, very well, both in the seminars we have, discussions we have, the importance that we give overall well-being rather than just results and performance. But I think it will be a very defining factor in our leaders of the future.
Yeah, I think reflecting is really, really important, and not getting upset if something doesn't work out the first time. There is opportunities, even if it sometimes maybe feels a little bit not sure what to do, what should be my next step. I think sometimes to maybe get a little bit back to, okay, let's refocus and see what I can do here. And that is definitely something that has helped me as well. You never know what's around the corner, which sounds sometimes maybe as well a little bit scary, but it doesn't have to be. I think it's just really, how you set yourself up to deal then with whatever is around the corner. Being open and flexible can really help. Trying to get all the advice that you can, but then also making your own decision for your own path. And even if that sometimes maybe means you need to change direction, could be really exciting, could be really, really nice to do for yourself, but could also really have a good impact on your professional circle. So in that sense, trying to stay open and not being too scared about things maybe changing directions.
Yeah, I'd like to just add lastly that I think don't forget about your overall growth. I think it's really hard sometimes to really see what you have achieved. And that's obviously a lot easier when you're in a supportive environment and you know that you, have everyone's back and they've got yours. But really take those moments to set yourself some goals and reflect on those, because you've probably achieved a lot more than you've probably ever imagined during your journey.
Hello, my name is Janne. I'm Senior Operations Manager and I have been with Newstel for 8 years. If I could give one piece of advice to a woman who is just starting her career, it would be this. Don't wait until you feel 100% ready. Growth often happens outside of your comfort zone. Trust your abilities, ask questions, and don't be afraid to take on responsibility, even if it feels a little scary at first. Confidence builds through action. It's also important to find your own leadership style. You don't have to copy anyone else. Authenticity, empathy, and reliability are incredibly strong leadership qualities. What excites me the most about the future of leadership at Newstel is the openness and development mindset we have. We are creating space for people to grow, take ownership, and shape their roles. Leadership here is not about hierarchy. It's about responsibility, collaboration, and supporting each other to succeed. I'm really looking forward to seeing how we continue to grow as a team and as leaders together.
Hi, my name is Bernadette and I'm a division director and I've been with Newstel for 11 years now. If I could answer the question, what advice would you give to a woman who's just starting a career? I would say own your journey, because women carry many roles throughout our lifetime. We are daughters, friends, partners, colleagues, or sometimes mother. And building a career is another responsibility that deserves our focus. So I would suggest own your journey. It's not about rushing things or competing with anyone. It's all about honoring your full potential at your own pace. But as we move along, there are two things that you need to work on or focus on, the two essentials, which is number one, invest in your skills. Find a mentor who would challenge you, refine you, push you to your limits, because this is where the actual growth happen, right? Second is continuously improve your communication skills, because this is very essential in every workplace. And if you are able to articulate your thoughts with clarity, it builds confidence. And confidence backed up with your skills creates influence in the room. And ultimately, influence is what moves you forward to your goals. It's not comparison, not pressure, but actually steady and intentional growth. What excites you most about the future of leadership at Newstel? What really excites me the most is the actual shift from traditional management to strategic thinking and true ownership. Over the past year, we have been intentionally trying to improve our ability to think, to go beyond the daily execution, and have a better understanding about revenue impact, operational efficiency, scalability, and of course, clients' behavior. So the biggest transformation actually is the mindset. So instead of us before asking what's my target, what's my goal, what's the KPI that needs to be worked on, it's being shifted to questions like, how does this decision affect our client and company long term? And with that shift, better decisions are being made and there's more value to what we can offer to our clients. So it's just that I'm just really excited on what can we achieve more with strategic foundation, and how can we have a better or deeper impact to give more meaningful results to our clients.
Thank you all for sharing your stories today. And as we close this session, I want to leave you with these words from across the globe. They're in different languages, but they speak with a single voice. One that reminds us that our strength isn't just the role we play, the words we speak, or the difficulties we overcome. It's simply who we are. So let's carry these mantras with us into the future.